request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajani. Today's topic is on indigenous technologies in crop protection in chilies. First of all, I would like to thank Agriculture Information for inviting me to give a lecture on indigenous technologies in crop protection in chilies. So more than a subject, here I would like to discuss more on practical experience what we had for last 3 years in adopting indigenous technologies in crop protection. Of course, we have done a lot of ITK work on different spices like chilies, cumin, and celery. But now I'm highlighting only the aspects related to chilies. The scheme of the presentation is like what is the background and what is the need for indigenous technologies from corporate perspective, from the exporters perspective, from the price perspective, and what is the approach for indigenous technologies, and what is the impact benefit, giving an example from the chilies, and a couple of success stories, what we experienced with different farmers in Andhra and Karnataka while growing chilies. If you look at the indigenous technical knowledge, this is actually technical knowledge. Basically, it is a local knowledge and which is unique to particular culture and society. This indigenous technical knowledge is maybe on agriculture, maybe on health, maybe on environment, whatever. But here we are concentrating more on the agricultural knowledge, what the farmers have given over a period of time, over the centuries. Actually, these are some of the technologies which are passed on to generation by the testing by the farmers on their own in agricultural lands, and which is the proven effect of the particular ITKs were passed on to the next generations. And some of the ITKs which have survived in different environments, and finally these ITKs interwoven with the agricultural practices, still they are relevant. If you go to some of the areas like Parbhani and all, where the agriculture is still completely on dry land agriculture, where for the cost reduction, farmers adopt some of the ITKs still in some of the areas. But now the current problem is the farmers are using a lot of agrochemicals, which are impacting the Indian exports as well as the health of the people. So completely replacing ITKs under Indian conditions may be a difficult one. Whether we can intercept some of the ITKs, that is the main idea of making this presentation. So in olden days, how the farmers are maintaining the soil organic content, and they team it with the different nutrients by different organisms, and also they made use of a lot of microbes. But here we are not touching upon these all the biologicals. Generally, the field technology is what the farmer can adopt. If you look at the background and need of this ITKs, many corporates, because India is known for very good spices, which has got a lot of demand and export potential. So many corporates like ITC, many companies are into the crop development, procurement, and export of the spices to European Union, United States, Middle East, Japan, so many countries. So especially that bracket, mostly on chilies, that occupies the number one in is the chilies. And of course, turmeric, cumin is also. Cumin is grown in India, which is one of the largest producer of cumin in India, largest producer of chilies in India, and Indian chilies has got a lot of demand globally. So when we are doing this export, what are the challenges? Where from actually ITKs can invoke in the production of chilies? Because the pesticide residue is a very big problem under Indian growing conditions. If you look at the chilies, especially from areas like Andhra, which is a hub for chilies, where the farmers are applying about 25 to 30 sprays on the crop. So 25-30 sprays means almost a farmer is spending about 40,000 to 50,000 rupees only on pesticides. So some are knowingly they are applying, some are unknowingly they are applying, some farmers are misled, some farmers are not properly informed. For example, where the insecticide is sprayed, some farmers are applying fungicides. Where fungicide is applied, some are applying insecticide because lack of some knowledge on it. And also these people are exploited by some of the dealers, so-called dealers available in the local market. So this is the situation where farmers are going. In general, if you apply one chemical, one insecticide for one pest, for next 1 week, 10 days, you did not spray anything. But whereas here you can find farmer is applying every 3 days and every 4 days one chemical. We cannot blame farmer also, because they are very much worried about the crop, because they are spending not less than 1 to 1.5 crores, or sorry, 1 to 1.5 lakhs per acre as investment. So we can understand the problem of the farmers, but we worked it out how to reduce the pesticide residues, how to reduce the number of sprays on the crop, where farmer can save some money. So one challenge is pesticide residue compliance is a big problem when we want to export Indian spices, and increased use of pesticide usage, 25 to 30 pesticides or number of sprays on the crop, and guideline residue levels. Indian products are some of these products are not meeting the guideline residue levels for export offerings. Of course, by adopting all the chemicals, we can also make compliant, but there are some technologies and production practices which have to be strictly followed. That farmer is not knowing much. That is why these companies are coming forward in the name of the crop development and educating the farmer for production of compliant spices. Basically, the approach what we followed is generally what is the root cause analysis where pesticides are used. For example, in paddy, maybe 7 to 8 pesticides. If it is chili, 25 to 30 pesticides. If it is cotton, still it is 30 to 25 to 30 pesticides. So first of all, what is the root cause analysis? Because whether the pesticide is controlling or not, whether the farmer is using their correct pesticide, whether it meeting the target pest, or we need any carrier along with that. So these kind of, first of all, we do the root cause analysis, and what is the best indigenous technical knowledge that we want to intercept with the chemical sprays, so that pest can be effectively managed, farmer can reduce the cost. At the same time, there will be more export offerings. Okay. When we implemented the ITKs in chilies, because if you look at the ITK, the innumerable number of ITKs are there. Recently, ICR also, they formed a committee. They are also compiling the ITKs available across the India. But all the ITKs, for example, if you come to know the Dashaparni, so these kind of some of the complex ITKs where the ingredients are not easily available, that farmer cannot do it. So here we have taken up the ingredients which are easily available and which are easily prepared by the farmer. But here, one more thing I would like to highlight is directly the ITKs, if you bring and you spray on the crop, sometimes they may not work, because there the basic content of it. So you have to tweak it, you have to test it, and finally come out with at what concentration it works very well. That we have to work it out. That we worked for few chemicals like chili garlic paste, hing, neem leaf extract, and neem seed kernel extract, fermented buttermilk, and Jeevamrit. In chili garlic paste, it is actually we found as good as any insecticide, and even the sprayer also feels a bit difficulty. That is the pungency of that material. And in case of hing, everybody knows about the hing. Hing, what happens is it acts as a very good repellent. For example, one is you can spray hing at the rate of 2 grams per liter on the crop, or otherwise take a small bits of hing in a cloth bag and just to throw onto the field about 20-25 bags, small bags of each about 20 grams. So that actually acts as a very good repellent. See, one more thing, these ITKs may not be completely replace the pesticides. These are complementing the pesticides. That is why number of pesticides can be reduced. So here we are not advocating complete replacement of the pesticides. Okay. Neem seed kernel extract. Neem seed kernel extract is very good because it has contained the azadirachtin and it acts as very good repellent, as well as kills the egg stages of the insects. And this is an important. So, and neem leaf extract. For example, if you take neem leaf of about 5 kgs, if you crush it, you get 150 ml of solution. That 150 ml mix in 100 liters of water, and if you can spray on the crop. One is it acts as an antioxidant. Another one is it kills some of the first instar larvae. See, one thing I would like to highlight here in our experience is whether the insect or not. Every day, if you start using some of these ITKs, entire crop season, hardly you end up with 1 or 2 pests only about 1 week or 2 weeks. Otherwise, crop will be entirely free from any pest incidents. So these ITKs, not as a curative, always you go with a prophylactic sprays on the crop on a regular basis. Definitely you can reduce number of sprays. Sometimes we don't need any pesticides also. This we tried in 2 years in tobacco, where we applied chili garlic paste on a weekly basis whether the pest is there or not. It has the entire season the crop is completely free from the pest. Generally, the farmer sometimes will respond as a curative. No curative. But it is always better ITKs go with a prophylactic sprays. So what we have done is we have practically integrated. Only generally, if the recommended molecules are there in chilies, that molecules are complemented with this kind of ITKs. One spray, if you go for chemical, next you go with ITK. Next again, you go with the chemical. Next, you go with 2 ITKs. This is the plan we had for control of the pests in chilies. That is the way we can reduce the number of sprays on it. Okay. And sometimes we also brought some cross ideas from other crops. You see, this is something like integrated pest management, wherein for example, recently we had a problem of black thrips. Wherever the farmer went for 4 rows of border crop, the incidence is very, very less. So what the farmers is not only just the crop, we have to look at that ecology in total. So the farmer need a good education on not only just the seeds and nursery raising and all. It has to be taken a holistic way. Then only very effectively farmer can reduce the cost on pest management. At the same time, he can make more returns on the investment. See, the same thing, actually, we concentrate on local recipes. What kind of recipe they are using, that we tweak by doing the experimental program, by increasing and decreasing the different concentrations. So from that only, we developed crop-specific formulations. One formulation separately we developed for chilies that we tried on chilies since in about 15 days after planting till the end of the crop season. If you clearly look at this one, this graph here, see, neem leaf extract, chili garlic extract, and panchagavya, putrefied buttermilk, asafoetida, and control. Control, we have not sprayed anything. But if you look at all these things like mites, thrips, leaf curl, midge, and food border, we find the chili garlic paste has got a minimum amount of pest incidence we recorded in chili garlic paste. Because it not only prophylactic, it also acts as a curative. Here, next we can say that some of the ITKs we adopted in the field and advocating to the farmer to adopt. If you look at the yields are also, if you take the green leaf yield, we can find the highest amount of green leaf was produced. Green chili was produced about 7.2 tons of green chili was produced in chili garlic paste, where the pest and disease incidence is very, very low. Similarly, what we have done is after adopting this ITKs, we looked at what is the pass percent. Pass percent, residue pass percent means there are list of molecules. Against that molecules, whether this produce is pass, that means residues are less than the limit. So that only considered as a pass. So in ITKs, if you look at almost non-ITK, if it is 52% pass, in ITKs you get pass percent of 88% and also 86% in year 1, year 2. In one of the places called Warangal in Telangana region and Bhadrachalam in Andhra region, where we got about 85 to 86% of pass percentage of pass percent means residue pass. That means the pass percent material has very, very less amount of pesticide residues in it. Then the same success story, how we got it is the same concept we implemented in 8 villages with 300 farmers in 180 hectares. The major selecting is chili garlic paste, neem leaf extract, and panchagavya. Of course, in few areas where we also adopted hing sprays, where we wanted any repellence action. If you look at the impact, So if you are not using any ITKs, simply you are adopting only the chemicals, pass percentage varying from 30 to 50%. Whereas if you are going with ITKs, the actual pass percentage is 70 to 90%. So by adopting these ITKs, reducing number of sprays, almost we reduce from 21 sprays to 11 sprays. All the remaining 9 sprays are with only ITKs. ITK costs you about 200 rupees an acre, whereas the chemical you require about 1500 rupees per acre. I'm giving an average of all the sprays what farmer does. By adopting this one, farmer is getting benefit about 17,500 rupees, saving on cost of cultivation. But the returns what he is getting, that means one is productivity levels, and because some of the ITKs have got a growth promoting characters also. And in addition to that, the price advantage. So for example, if it is pass percentage high, farmer sometimes different companies will give with 5 rupees to 6 rupees, sometimes 10 rupees more than the actual price available in the market. And not only these ITKs, we are also adopted some of the ITKs in chilies. I'll give a small example of fermented buttermilk. Buttermilk has got a fungicidal character. It has got a, since it is very, very acidic in nature, it will cause the irritation on the insect body like sucking complex like aphids. So it also helped in as a repellent as well as killing the some of the aphids. And milk and sugar, it is very, very important one, why milk and sugar. Here what has happened is we tried different combinations and all. 2 kgs of sugar and 3 liters of milk. If you mix it in 100 liters of water and you spray, totally your crop will be free from mosaic, mostly the viruses. Is one of the villages called Ramanagudam in Warangal district, where we advocated to the farmer. Even now, every season, whether we tell or not, farmer is going to spray 2 to 3 times on his crop to totally control the virus. Earlier, what has happened is when there was a virus all around his village, but this village was saved. But one thing, after virus is totally became an epidemic, if you can apply, it will not work. If you first see 1 or 2 problems in the field, here and there, if you find 1 or 2 plants with virus, then that is the time you have to go with the spraying of milk and sugar. Sugar also acts as a growth promoting character, and also the milk protein actually suppress the virus protein. These are some of the things which basically, but once they tried this one, they started still using it the same milk and sugar in that particular village because they found the benefit out of it. Because once we recommended once, now 2 to 3 times farmer will apply. Here the milk generally we recommend for cow milk, but if cow is not available, farmer can go with buffalo milk. If it is not available, he can packeted milk also, it's okay. But milk and sugar combination does wonders. Not only this in many crops. Later we tried in tobacco. That also given a very good this thing in suppressing the virus. Okay. And another thing is coconut water spray. Generally in chilies, farmers apply some NAA, that is a growth promoter, especially for controlling the flower drop. In chilies, a big problem is if there is cloudy weather, if there is the high temperatures, if there are heavy rainfall. Under these circumstances, there will be heavy drop of fruit and heavy drop of flower is seen in chilies. So for that one, so growth regulator is recommended like naphthalene acetic acid, but that acetic acid is generally a chemical. What here we suggested is, we suggested tender coconut water. Tender coconut water is rich in minerals, and tender coconut water very, very rich in growth promoting substances and cytokinins, which help in cell division. This coconut water, about 3 to 5 liters in 100 liters of water, if they mix and spray on the crop, it actually helps the boost of to help in boosting the growth. At the same time, flower drop was controlled. Excellent flower drop was controlled. The flower drop was totally controlled. It acted as good as a growth regulator on chilies. So those farmers in those villages where we had a demos, the same farmers still they are using coconut water on the crop to reduce the flower drop. For example, if some of the areas, what happens is if there are more foliage and less flowering on the plant, because generally it happens with when nitrogen content is high and potash is less. Under the circumstances also, if you go with spraying of water, coconut water, that helps in initiating the flowering in the plant. These are all the practical experiences what we had. And in case of neem leaf extract, this we suggested once in a week, because neem is available plenty everywhere. We suggested them every week you take 5 kgs of neem leaf and you grind it, you get 150 ml of solution, mix it 100 liters of water, the same thing you spray on the crop on it. But here, one small suggestion what I give to the people is, whenever you are going with not like milk and sugar, like neem leaf extract, neem seed kernel extract, chili garlic paste, these kind of pest control options when you go with, I ask them to add about 10 grams of soap powder or one shampoo packet, small shampoo 10 ml packet per tank of water, because this helps in tenacity. When you apply any chemical onto it, since the chilies and these solanaceous crops, they have a waxy, of course, for every crop will have waxy coating, but here the waxy coating is bit high. That is why whatever you spray on that drips off. So to avoid that, every time we suggest them to apply some soap solution or shampoo packet 10 ml, or sometimes we ask them to apply soap solution, soap powder, so that the whatever the chemical that is not whatever the ITK it is sprayed on the crop, that is actually fixed onto the leaf and it is tenacious and also spreads. If you look at a drop of soap will spreads on a glass, whereas the normal drop will not spread. So for spreading of the material, whatever we are spraying, we have to go with it is actually like a surfactant. So the soap will definitely make it spread the drop onto the plant surface and is effectively. So every ITK when we are going with, we suggest a application of a soap powder or a one sachet shampoo for effective control of the pests, and also for if it is growth promoter for effective absorption by the plant, because it tenaciously be there on the plant for a long time. But of course, this crop is grown in the Rabi season. Some areas Rabi season, some areas Kharif season, but these harvesting still continues till the December, January, some areas February, March also. So those are the low temperatures, general dew formation is there. When you go with the application of this kind of soap powder or soap solution, along with the ITKs, or for that matter, any chemical also, that makes actually helps in attaching to the plant surface. So it is more effective. Under Indian conditions also, if you look at normal farmer, of course, nowadays some of the pesticides are coming out with surfactants. If not, every time with every spray, farmer can add some surfactant along with that. The effectivity of control is okay. Sometimes we can have a another presentation if time permits on how effectively you dispense the sprays and all chemicals onto the plant surface. We can have a separate presentation on it. Okay, but as of now, when we are looking at ITKs, these are the things I would like to share with you for the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for the detailed presentation. I'll move on to questions now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen and on your camera? Okay.
Yeah.
So this question is, okay, please tell us something about your own career background in agriculture research.
See, I've been in agriculture research for last 25 years, but I've been with ITC for last 22 years. Basically, I did my doctorate from plant pathology from Indian Agriculture Research Institute. So my long stint in ITC last 22 years. I'm working on different crops like tobacco, chilies, cumin, and celery, and some of the important crops of our business interest. And mostly I worked on pesticide residue compliant production systems. And quite some time I worked on seed production, sometimes helping in agronomy. Currently, I'm looking into all agronomy aspects, which include integrated pest management, integrated nutrient management in ITC.
Okay. And next question is,
we are also running one plant health clinic for the help of the farmers, and also EC 4.0 one website where the farmer can post any problem that can be answered in a day or two. We are running one call center for it.
Okay. And how will you describe the research experience in private sector compared to public universities and research centers?
See, actually, I have seen the research in public sector when I was doing my PhD and MSc Agri. But my practical experience in uh, ITC is that, we all the research we do only the need based, directly, practically implementable, uh, which fetch farmer as well as the company. And not for the sake of doing research, not for the sake of fundamental research. Just we do all the fundamentals, we convert into the lab to directly to the land. So mostly all our research is confined to uh, what exactly wants in the field level. That is the one my experience for last 22 years. And one more thing is, if you conceive any idea, if you want to take it forward, it is very fast in the private sector. Once it is convinced with the top management, within no time we can go and conducting the trials and we can see the day of the light.
Okay. And next question is, as a scientist, what are your major concerns about chili production in India?
See, in chili production, major constraint is cost of cultivation and non-availability of good seed material. It is available, but some people directly, farmers will, farmer to farmer uh, buying of the seed is there. And there are few companies, I don't want to name it, small companies, which may not be giving the very good quality seed. Seed is a problem, cost of cultivation is a problem, pest and disease is a problem. Lot of pest and diseases on chilies. These three are the major concern areas for Indian exports. Pesticide residues are the concern areas. Still, there is a scope for a farmer to reduce the cost of cultivation by adopting few technologies and techniques.
Okay. And next question is, for your agriculture graduates looking for a career in private sector research, what advice can you share?
Okay, see, all the private sector companies, they are now going with the recruitment of lot of agri graduates. One thing, point number one, for all agri graduates, don't stop your with graduation. Do your masters. If you don't do the masters in agriculture, your further career growth will be very limited in private sector. That is the one thing I'll tell you. Second one is, you have to develop lot of skills. Generally, agri graduates, they are bit shy. They are actually their assessing system is different. That is, they are shy. So you should be open up. You should have more develop communication skills and presentation skills. These two are very important in corporate sector. So I suggest, because I visited many colleges as a recruitment member, so I noticed these are some of the points which are lacking in agriculture graduates. And the third point is, our subject, whatever we study in the colleges, is not sufficient. We should have a linking ability from soil science to agronomy, agronomy to pathology, pathology to entomology. So when you go to the field, how you look at the field, how you analyze the field, how you identify the problem, that is more important. A pathologist can identify pathology problem, entomologist can identify entomology problem. Not like that. You should, when you go to the field, you should be able to identify whether what exactly the problem. Don't confine to one thing. So for that, you need to have a wide subject knowledge you have to develop, and you have to interlink your logics. Generally, what happens is, everywhere you find more of a specialist, but generalists are very rare in agri. So though you are a specialist, develop your knowledge as a generalist to understand everything about a crop from nutrition point of view, disease point of view, pest point of view, toxicity point of view, weed point of view. Like that, you have to develop all your skills. Then only skill set is very important in agri. Just like a doctor, it is also very important if you to excel in your career in private sector, especially. If you want to be confined to only one area, yes, government sector you can go. You can go with like a specialization in entomology, pathology, something like that. When you come to the private sector, definitely you have to have a very good knowledge and you have very good linking abilities to excel.
Okay. And next question is, In terms of research, how do you compare the chili research in India versus other countries?
Uh, see, I don't much comment about other countries because if you look at the world, India is the number one in chili production and chili variants and chili exports. So that is why, of course, there are, International Vegetable Center in Thailand. They're also working very well on chilies, but different countries have got a different requirements. But as far as India is concerned, actually we traveled very far, and there are some varieties which are developed in other countries are also tested in India. They're also available in the market. Okay, so as far as chili research is concerned, we are very, very good and nowhere less than any other country in chili research, especially in terms of developing varieties and all. Only problem in India is, see, the deployment and the field level implementation, because the lack of much knowledge about the crop to the farmer. He knows how to grow the crop, but if there is any bottlenecks and hiccups in the crop production system, how to tackle it, he is getting a very big problem. Recently, we took up one project where, to bring 1 lakh acres of chili under good agricultural practices in collaboration with ITC and government of Andhra Pradesh. So really, we find a lot of difference while adopting these kind of projects. So what I mean to say here is, as far as chilies are concerned, we nowhere less than any other country for production technologies and also different varieties. But the only thing is implementation in the field is very important.
Okay, and next question is, what will you say? What will you say have been the highlights of your nearly 22 years career at ITC Limited?
It's a very big stint in one company. So my highlights is, I had an experience in, though I'm a pathologist, I had good experience in seed production, good experience in agriculture and agronomy, good experience in entomology, good experience in developing varieties, developing agronomies. See, now you see, company gave me a very good experience in, so they're visiting different countries, knowing different production technologies. And currently we are also working on precision farming technologies. We are talking about the, Israel and all, but now we are adopting precision farming technologies in some of the crops we are handling. So precision farming technologies and developing first tobacco hybrids were developed by our R&D center. So my role is also there in it. And, this CPA management or residue management production technologies to increase the export offerings from my company for chilies and cumin. That was very good contribution we made towards it. These are some of the important milestones I can tell you. But in the entire production, mostly I worked on tobacco. In this tobacco, when we were working, we developed a lot of technologies from seed to, like green tech, from seed to final harvesting. A lot of technologies were developed in these lines by our team. And as far as chilies are concerned, mostly we confine to this, not a seed production or this thing, only reduce the cost of cultivation, reduce the number of sprays, and that gave me a lot of immense satisfaction. An IT case we implemented in the farmers field, where we meet thousands and thousands of farmers, and they adopted and come out with good results. What they get, that gives me a lot of immense satisfaction than anything else. So we made contributions in tobacco, contributions in chilies, contributions in cumin. All the three crops we have immense contribution. But of course, at the same time, we are also working on other crops for some of the futuristic projects. And we developed some technologies which are very much acclaimed by the company, like curing process and all. That is also one of the good achievements I made during my stint in ITC. Of all these things, connect with the farmers. More than 2,000 to 3,000 farmers connect, and whenever they had a problem, they come to me for any solutions. That gives me more satisfaction than anything else.
Okay, and next question is, when we say indigenous chilies, are there also other imported chili varieties?
No, actually, who asked the question, I think they misunderstood the concept. Indigenous technologies in production system. Indigenous technologies means the technologies which are developed over a period of time that we are trying on chilies. Indigenous chili, indigenous technologies, not indigenous chili. Just I think you have to make the subtle difference between these two. Indigenous technologies like adopting, going for green manure crop, green for border crop or mixed crop, going for chili garlic paste, spraying of neem leaf. These are all the indigenous technologies. So nothing basically that off late that nobody has developed that technology. This technology was there in olden days that we standardize the technology. That is called indigenous technology. That is, but chili is not indigenous. Because in chilies we use a lot of varieties like 334, 48884. There are some Teja, US 341. A lot of varieties are there. 355, Badiki. They're all some of the varieties which are developed in India. So indigenous means we are talking about technologies, not chili plant per se.
Okay. And next question is, does ITC Limited have contract farming arrangement with the chili farmers?
See, it is not a contract farming. We have a crop development activity. Crop development activity means in the identified areas, we have a number of farmers. We have a field staff. For example, if you take Bhadrachalam area, Warangal area, and Ballari region and Vidalur region of Andhra Pradesh, these areas we have field staff. Close to about 150 to 200 field staff are there. These field staff will go to the farmers and tell them what kind of packages they should follow, what kind of pesticide they have to use. So they adopt it. But if we don't call it as a contract system, there is no contract there. We are only encouraging the farmer, or we are only giving the technology farmer for the upliftment. But what is the advantage for the companies? If the farmer is in the pursuit, if the farmer is producing any chilies with less than prescribed guideline residues of chilies, that chili we are going to procure. Market price or sometimes plus market price. So exactly, we don't call it as a contract. It is something like we recommend to the farmer POPs. Farmer will adopt the POPs. After adopting the POPs, we take the sample and analyze. If it is meeting the standard residue less than, then we will buy. Because why we kept this one is, some places, some farmers may be spraying without our notice some of the molecules which are not recommended. Those things will impact exports. So that is why we have this arrangement with the farmer. For identified locations, field staff will be there. Each field staff is given particular area. In that area, they go around and advocate the farmers, and through them only procurement also happens. One advantage is, it is not like a mandi. The procurement happens from the farmers field itself. So that is a good advantage to the farmer.
Okay, Dr. Reddy, I don't see any further questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. Agricultureinformation.com likes to thank Dr. BSR Reddy for a detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you. All the best. If anybody has got any queries, they can use my mobile number and they can send some messages so that I can answer any queries if you have.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.